Hello, boys.
Where are
Recording
you?
live
Great
from.
background.
Yeah, this is. I'm trying to find a good spot. It's in Sandwich restaurant. The tea room is to my left. It's closed. I'm waiting for some dude to show up out of the woods with a shotgun and blow me away. So I'm risking my life
Jesus.
for you, fellas.
Now, now would this tea room be golf tees, t-shirts, or maybe
No,
even as like a spot of tea?
yeah, it's TEA, and
That's cool.
so yeah, but no one's here. Purple umbrellas and a nice elm tree behind me. So yeah,
Are you
good to be
are you
here.
wearing that orange shirt in support of the Oil Boys?
No, just have first one I bought. That would be a good call. This umbrella is blue, so yeah, I am surrounded by Oiler colors. Down 0-2, it doesn't look good. Um, they deserve to win game one, but no,
There you go. Nice.
I heard. I heard what you guys. When you train to become a Navy SEAL, there's this thing where they come and inspect your room every day, and even if it's perfect, they have you run down to the ocean, jump in your full garb, get out, roll around the sand. They call it a starfish thing, and then you have to work and train that whole day in your uniform, covered in sand, wet, soaking wet and cold all day long. And the lesson, and some people, it drives them to quit the Navy SEALs because, like, wait a minute, I did everything right. I was perfect. My room was perfect. My bed was perfect. My uniform, my shoes are spit shine perfect. But they still do it. And they do it because sometimes life is unfair. That's the whole lesson. It's why you can do everything exactly right, and still you have to spend the day cold, shivered, and covered in sand. And that's what happens sometimes in hockey. You can do everything right, and you don't win in the end.
What do you think was more representative of how this series will go, game one or game two?
Yeah, I think more like game two. I think that game one somewhat domination by the Oilers, where they looked a step faster. That was a bit of a mirage, I think, and caught the Panthers off guard after playing some teams not as quick and fast, and like the Rangers and the Bruins, on overall scary team speed. And so I think it just caught them off guard, and they adjusted in game two, and I would think that would be what the series would look like more. So that's why it's a big challenge for the Oilers, if they can win these grinding, low-scoring games. Unless the power play gets hot again as the series goes, that can happen. But this looks like a grindy, low-scoring game. And last night, if they could get that second goal, then they can shut it down and win and even the series. But they couldn't get that second goal after being up 1-0.
Do you feel the shit has sufficiently hit the fan from a physical and messiness standpoint? Do you think that anything should come of any of the shenanigans last night, or do you feel that this is just going to get worse and worse as it goes on?
Yeah, because the Oilers are smart. They're well coached. They understand. Knobloch makes big changes when they lose, and now mucking it up when you're losing. That you have to do it, and that's the only way. You have to fight for a series. You have to take it from them. You have to do extreme things because it's not going to happen otherwise, especially now, down 2-0. So obviously that's a suspendable hit by Draisaitl in the regular season. He's not going to. I mean, if Trouba doesn't get suspended, if Sam Bennett doesn't get suspended for punching Brad Marchand and him missing 2 games, then Draisaitl's not going to get suspended.
Do you think there's a breakthrough coming for the Oilers stars? I mean, McDavid, Draisaitl, even Bouchard and Hyman, like all of those guys have been extremely quiet. Do you think that that's inevitable for them to break through, or is the Panthers defense good enough to keep them quiet long enough for this series to be over before that happens?
Yeah, I don't sense an inevitability from what I've seen. Now, certainly the game can always go certain ways and curves and momentums and things. The one game can look so much differently from the next. It's really interesting how hockey works that way. But Draisaitl just can't seem to find an open space to shoot. I think he actually needs to change. If they could, I wonder if they'll change up their look in the power play with Draisaitl. Or obviously, it's been so successful, but clearly they're putting Forsling on that side and just really taking anything away from him. Although he had a bad angle shot that Bob almost came off the post last night. Again, it's a game of inches, and that he certainly could have tucked that one in, and maybe he will in game 3. But no, I don't see that inevitability. Now Barkov doesn't play in game 3. That changes everything. He did look pretty somewhat concussed after that hit as he was going down. Now we'll see. 2 days off. Maybe he'll be back and be fine, but that changes everything with the Panthers. He's the hub. He's the fulcrum of the whole team.
And the 2 days off, it's shifting to Edmonton. Like, I didn't think, I'm an Oil man famously, I did not think that game 2 was a must win. I thought the Oilers could fall behind 2-0 in the series and still come back and win. Pete thought the same thing. Did you feel after last night that shit, this thing might be over, or is shifting back to Edmonton enough that the Oilers could get back in this?
I mean, they got to win 4 out of 5. It's hard to win 4 out of 5, against the Blackhawks. I mean, maybe not the Blackhawks, but it's just hard to beat the same team 4 out of 5 times, especially
Insane
that
straight
team
for Chicago to catch this time of year.
Yeah.
I know. So
They thought they were in the clear.
Poor Cody Ceci, of all the teams. But I can't believe he was scratched last night.
Well, I mean, last night was the first time this postseason, maybe, or at least the loudest time, that Chris Knobloch's lineup changes have not paid off. I mean, like, he did drastic things late in that Dallas series. It worked. He put Broberg in. It worked. Holloway second liner, Corey Perry second liner. He scratches not just CC for game 2, but also Corey Perry, and it doesn't work out. Big changes, do you think, probably come for game 3? Because I imagine they will.
Yeah, well, I like the Desharnais change. I thought he was actually a good guy to have in there with the tenor of the game. And I think he knew the game was going to get ugly. He didn't want Perry probably to take a dumb penalty, but he knew that Desharnais could be a force. And I thought overall he was pretty good on the PK, probably deserves another start. I could see him starting again. Now, Ceci also still might play. We'll see. Maybe Nurse is so banged up that he can't play at all. And so then they both play. But yeah, no, for sure. Every single move isn't going to work, but you're right. But they're up 1-0. They had the lead. The game was in their hands. The players should have been able to get another power play goal, just one. And Bouchard, I thought, was really good in game 1 on his toes. The guy just has these lackadaisical lapses. I know he plays a lot. He's not a physical specimen, so it's going to be hard mentally sometimes. But he just has those lapses that look so bad because it looks like he's so lazy when he does them. He's probably not, but it does look. He just has some players have just a bad look when they make a bad play. It just looks terrible.
Zach Grande said he has that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and again, and other guys make mistakes, and you don't really notice them because of whether they're a try-harder or they're one of those kinds of personalities or a little guy. They always get the breaks. You little guys always get the breaks. Did I say you little guys? I'm sorry.
We know who you're talking to. It's fine. I'm self-aware enough.
But so it's interesting. Those first 2 games were so different. Can't wait to see how the third one looks and feels. The Panthers love this situation. They love the road. They will not be uncomfortable. So yeah, I'm worried if I'm an Edmonton fan that I can win 4 out of 5 games.
Are you would it be 4 out of 6?
6?
Yeah. Are you a Bouchard guy? Because I feel like, and I'm not like as an Oilers fan being like you hate Bouchard or whatever, but like I've always felt defensively as well, like he's going to make mistakes. He's going to have turnovers, like the horrible one that basically lost them the game last night. But overall, do you like Bouchard as much as everybody else, or am I maybe reading something wrong?
Yeah, probably not, because he's soft on the wall. He was soft on the wall again last night, cost a goal, besides the turnover. Remember that amazing play that McKinnon made in overtime when he went in the corner and dug it out, made that backhand pass?
Yeah, that was a bad moment.
Soft, but he does that all the time. Like, he's so soft in the corner. And again, I know he plays a lot, and he can make it up with that slap shot. And he's, he plays, like I said, he does play a lot. But yeah, that kind of stuff just bothers me probably too much. And
we disagreed on this earlier. He was getting choked out last night by Aaron Ekblad and made the attempt to tap out. What's your read on that? Is that good behavior, bad behavior? Do you blame Bouchard for attempting to tap out there?
Yeah, that's a bad look. That's a GIF forever, right? I mean, that's never going away. It's going to follow him around forever. It'll be pretty soon. I'll have that option on my phone. I can do the tap out. I'll just type in tap out, and that'll come up. That'll be like the 5th one. And so it's a bad look. That could be a career ender. That's a bad look. You don't want that.
Yeah, a real man just dies. That's
right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, I gotcha. Yeah.
I like that.
Good takes, boys.
Like of the two games that have happened in the series so far, I saw that Biz on Spit and Chiclet said that he would rather bleed out on the ice than wear the Band-Aid that McDavid had on his chin in Game 1. And now we have, I would rather
So I definitely identify with that, like the Band-Aid on the face. I've done shit like that before.
Yeah, I mean, I'm elbowing the guy in the balls before I'm tapping his arm. Like or with my heel, I'll do a heel up skate move, and I accidentally might slice, his inner thigh, and that could happen. So just, yeah, I would not have tapped that. I think there's a way you can get out of that.
I mean,
You
you want an
gotta at least
all-time
try.
clip? You want an all-time clip? Evan Bouchard losing his balance to go 1 foot to like try to kick Aaron Ekblad in the penis. That would be amazing.
The better one than that.
So again, I don't mind the tap out. I mean, all he has to do is if somebody say, "Hey, why'd you tap out?" Say like, "Oh, I was actually losing oxygen," and then hardos like you and Pete will still go at him for that. But quite frankly, I'm a survive the moment kind of guy. If if it weren't for tapping out, I would have been long dead by now, I would say.
Let me ask you this. Who would you put as your Conn Smythe for the Florida Panthers at this moment in time? Because I don't feel like there's a clear answer.
No, I think it'll be answered in these next, if they win 2 more. Bob's on this incredible run of 2 goals or less. I know the save percentage isn't gaudy. It was 915 going into last night. Aiden Hill last year was 932. And so you figure a 925 or up is kind of your Conn Smythe number for a goalie maybe. But again, he's playing the right way at the right time, and I do think the finals should be weighted. If a guy has a run in the playoffs and the finals, that's why I thought Jack Eichel was the Conn Smythe. I thought he was the most important.
I did too.
Golden Knight last year, not Jonathan Marchessault, because who got him in bulk, but still very important. But what Eichel had to do. And just like, again, what Barkov, if he can pop in a couple more goals, get the offense up a little bit, in totality, he has a chance to get it. But if Bob can, especially if they sweep and Bob only allows 1 or 2 goals these next 2 games, he's probably going to sneak in and get that Conn Smythe, which would be obviously big for his career. 2 Vezinas, a cup, and a Conn Smythe. I know there's still a Hall of Fame debate about him. He's had an interesting career, kind of up and down, sometimes on shitty teams. But it's going to be a career that's better than Henrik Lundqvist. And I know New York doesn't want to hear that, but it's true.
How do you think Edmonton gets back in this series? 0 for 7 on the power play, 0 for 4 last night. I want to say, 1 shot on goal on the power play? Just like nothing offensively, but
PK streak's over too. Worth pointing out.
Oh, that's
too.
right. So I'll say for all the crying about the Draisaitl Barkov thing, that kind of sealed the game for Florida. Mm-hmm. They scored on the power play to make it 3-1, and then
I'm not sure that's a trade you make though if you're Florida, if Barkov's out.
Right, but I feel like it was treated as though there was no like punishment given, and like they fucking lost the game because of it. So there was some punishment given, but like, what does Edmonton have to do to get to the middle of the ice to get the chances that they were having in Game 1? Because none of the passes to the front of the net were even close to going through.
Yeah, it's tough because Kane is obviously not what he was 2 years ago, so that's a big hurt. Holloway has kind of disappeared after a pretty impressive little run there. He kind of found his footing in the second round, and then just kind of went away. And so he's been a little invisible. So he would have to reemerge. I don't think you're going to get a lot from Kane. You might get 1. And then it's really about, where's Zach Hyman when the puck comes to him? He just really hasn't had that chance, although he's had a couple of chances. I really would like to see them take the puck to the middle. I kept watching last night. They would take it to the middle, and they got to shoot that 30-foot wrist shot where they go for the bar. And Nugent Hopkins hit the bar once. Like, that's even McDavid, he's able to shake and bake and get to the middle, just fire the wrist shot up over by the ear holes. And they just will not shoot that 20, 30-foot wrist shot in the middle of the ice when they get there. They keep peeling off, looking for the backside tap-in goal or whatever. And they keep waiting for that backside. And that's just not the – instead of curling and wrist shot, high. You can go for the tip that way, or again, just try to score, shoot to score. I feel like they're shooting to pass and set up and tip right now too much as opposed to shooting to score. So, I mean, obviously, you come out, you win Game 3, you dominate like Game 1, outshoot and win, 3-1, maybe 4-1 empty netter late. And, then it all comes down to Game 4. Then that's the series. 2-2, we got a series. 3-1, we're toast again. So, it's obviously game 3, come out, dominate and win, and then it's all about game 4. And that's going to be awesome television. So I really hope they win game 3 just so we get that game 4 theater.
Can I paint you a picture? They go to game 3. It's crazy over there. Moss pit, whole 9. They win game 3 just off of momentum and vibes. What happens between game 3 and game 4? I can tell you what. Somebody named by the name of Shania Twain takes the motherfucking stage outside of the game. You're telling me that when you have momentum on your side and you're getting any man of mine, please, that series is over. If the Oilers win game 3, they're set because Shania is going to propel them to game 4, and then Florida's going back home. And they say the series doesn't start until the home team loses.
Or DJ Khaled goes home. Which is it?
DJ Khaled was a good get for them. I won't lie. I did not see Florida. When I saw that Shania was going, I was like, all right, everything's coming up Edmonton. DJ Khaled was a surprise. It's a good get.
Do you think Ariana Grande is big timing in the NHL? Because she's been at the building for 2 straight games and yet refuses to perform her job.
You mean for the anthem, or you want her on stage for a 4-song set?
Either one.
Yeah.
Somebody would say that she's mailing it in.
You know she's dating SpongeBob?
Who was the game 1 artist out there in Florida? What was that fella?
The Kid Leroy.
Because Levy said his name 17 times. There must have been a check written from some music company. Do they still have those? Because he kept saying that guy's name over and over again. Like, well, this is a hard push for Mason Leroy or Kid Leroy or
Mason Leroy.
Kid Leroy.
I'm going to start referring
the Kid Leroy.
The Kid Leroy.
Right eye blind. I don't know. Yeah, so I couldn't. I got to ask Levy because he kept saying his name over and over. They were pushing. I thought maybe he was a Disney Channel character or something. There's got to be a backstory there.
Well, the chat, by the way, is noting that you are absolutely mothering with those shades, my friend. You look fantastic.
They're also saying that you have big license and registration energy.
Somebody says irresistible urge to lunge for Butchie's weapon.
Oh my God, Jesus!
They're only human.
We all silly like the mayor.